Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunastam Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvesesa Sunyavadi Pasachade Satarini Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are so happy to welcome all of you here this evening on the subject matter of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. As we have on the screen, how to read or study Srila Prabhupada's books. And our team, His Grace Van Mali Prabhu, His Grace Devarishi Prabhu, His Grace Vasudev Krishna Prabhu, and myself are to present this seminar. For the time being, Van Mali Prabhu and myself are here. We would share the time until the other personalities come. So the last two seminars was on why read Srila Prabhupada's books. Why read Srila Prabhupada's books? And in those seminars, we highlighted the importance of, in fact, first of all, the importance of Srila Prabhupada's appearance in this world. And then the importance Prabhupada gave to his books. And the importance these books are to the devotees, the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, following that, we now come up with this one, how to read Srila Prabhupada's books. So in this 1 hour, we will try to inspire you all to read Srila Prabhupada's books. I'm sure you have attended other seminars related to this same topic. Actually, without Srila Prabhupada's books, there is no ISKCON. True or false? It is Srila Prabhupada's books that are keeping us together and doing all the amazing things that the devotees are doing. Because of that spiritual education, that spiritual inspiration that we are getting from reading Srila Prabhupada's books, that is keeping us going in our various services. So therefore, books are the basis. Srila Prabhupada says, books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So books are the basis. Without books, there is no ISKCON. And we can see that Srila Prabhupada, before he went west, he first of all invested his time in compiling his books. Until Srila Prabhupada finished the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada never made a move to go to the west. But as soon as he finished his first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was on his way. It meant that he had now got something to present, something to offer, something that can educate the devotees. And we also see that in the 7 purposes that Srila Prabhupada coined to guide his movement, the 7 purposes of ISKCON, the first 3 deal with education. That means Srila Prabhupada's movement is simply based on education. And that is why Srila Prabhupada says that all ISKCON temples must be centers of education. It is very important. Chanakya Pandit says that for a sick man or woman, medicine is his friend. And what do you see around sick people? Medicine. You can avoid it. Then Chanakya Pandit says, for a man on a journey, knowledge is his friend. So we are all on a spiritual journey. We are moving from the material world to the spiritual world. And therefore, we need spiritual knowledge to guide us on the way back home, back to Godhead. And that is why Srila Prabhupada made it necessary, crucial, to make all these books available. And we see that Srila Prabhupada spent sleepless nights. While the devotees were sleeping, Srila Prabhupada was awake all night. What was he doing? Translating these books and giving us his Bhaktivedanta purports. So these books are so important. They're so crucial for us. And Srila Prabhupada himself declared that these books are going to be the law books for the next 10,000 years. How fortunate we are to have access to these books. We are so fortunate. But then, if we have these books and we are not reading, then we are most unfortunate. We have these books stuck in our temples and we don't read them. That is very unfortunate. So, the Ministry of Education, ISKCON Ministry of Education, initiated this project. It is called Books Are the Basis. And the main activity of this project is to enhance the reading, the culture of reading Srila Prabhupada's books globally throughout all ISKCON centers, all devotees. In fact, whatever we have achieved in this movement is simply based on the knowledge Srila Prabhupada has given us. And the more we study these books, the more we become accustomed to the philosophy of these books, the more we are empowered to do wonderful things. So we want to urge every devotee in ISKCON to read these books and become a source of inspiration for others. Before we leave here, we should take a vow. Yesterday, His Grace, Srila Prabhu was giving us some principles of balance. One of the areas of balance for a devotee is swadhyaya. We have to constantly imbibe spiritual knowledge. That will help you to maintain a good balance. If you are not constantly reading and associating with Srila Prabhupada through his Bhaktivedanta purports, you cannot keep a good balance. So we should make a vow that every day I must read at least 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever, even if it's 5 minutes, but make it part of your daily activity. And you will become so empowered, and you can also be a source of inspiration for others. Anyway, thank you for your attention. We're going to go through the PowerPoint, and Prabhu will speak, and I'll also speak. Vanamali Prabhu is the Vice President of the Mira Road Temple in Mumbai. And of course, he's one of our sannyas candidates also. So we're happy to have him here. Hare Krishna. What is happening to the... So, how do we read Srila Prabhupada's books? So, as I said already, the Minister of Education, the vision of the Minister of Education, that is that all education in ISKCON should have its foundation in Srila Prabhupada's books. Whether it's agriculture, whether it's childcare, whatever form it takes. It is very interesting that you can find every subject in Srila Prabhupada's books. You can find everything. Anything you want to find, you can find in Srila Prabhupada's books. So Srila Prabhupada's books are complete. He has put so much into these books that there is no question of not finding a solution to a problem from Srila Prabhupada's books. So therefore, the Minister of Education is making it a principle, a policy, that all education in our society should be based on Srila Prabhupada's books. And interesting enough, we even see Srila Prabhupada reading his own books. Many authors, they write books for people to read. They never read their own books. Yeah, many authors in this world, when they write for their audience. They don't write for themselves. But Srila Prabhupada is demonstrating how important his books are by reading them himself. I think somebody asked Srila Prabhupada why he reads his own books, and he said, these books are not written by me. So Krishna dictates to me what to write. So I also need to read what Krishna has dictated. So if His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, is reading his own books, then what about us? We should read them more. So why is it more important to read Srila Prabhupada's books deeply? Because, one, as many of Srila Prabhupada's direct disciples leave the scene, and followed by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, what will be left is the information in the books, in the letters, and in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada. So that means the future generation of ISKCON, they will depend more on the information found in the books, in the letters, and in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada. So if we cultivate the habit of reading, and we leave behind a legacy of reading to the future generations, that will save ISKCON from so much trouble. So we shouldn't just think about ourselves now, but whatever we are doing now, we are creating a legacy of reading for the future generations yet to come. And that is why it's important for us, that is the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, because already Srila Prabhupada disciples, they are leaving one after another. Every other year we lose one, sometimes two, sometimes three. In the next 20 years, they will all be gone. We are not praying for that, but it is happening. So therefore, we as the grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we must make it a culture to read Srila Prabhupada's books. And then we leave that culture behind with the future generations. And then they can solve the problems that will come up by reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So here,
You must all study very scrutinizingly all of the books so that when the need arises, you can repeat in your own words their purport. As much as possible, read, chant, preach. This is our life and soul. If we keep to this simple formula, then there is no doubt that we will be victorious wherever we go, and very soon we will become the only religion in the world. Srila Prabhupada ki. This is a Srila Prabhupada letter to Hridayananda Swami, 6th January 1972. I would like to add a little bit. We have to make it a culture to read Srila Prabhupada books every day. Like we take a vow to chant 16 rounds when we are accepting a spiritual master as in the initiation. Similarly, we take a vow to read Srila Prabhupada books. Why? Simply because our life, spiritual life, is based on mercy, kripa, and the kripa, the mercy, comes through the spiritual master, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, and the Sampradaya Acharya, that is Srila Prabhupada. The maximum kripa comes from the Sampradaya Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. But when will the mercy come? When will the mercy come? How will the mercy come? When the Acharya is pleased. The goal of our life is Yasha Prasadad, Bhagavat Prasadad. If Srila Prabhupada is pleased, Krishna is pleased, and the mercy will flow. Srila Prabhupada many times has mentioned that Srila Prabhupada expressed to his disciples when they were reading Srila Prabhupada books, he was very pleased. In English, there is a saying, today reader, tomorrow leader. There was an incident in Srila Prabhupada's lifetime. Books after in 1970 were coming. So there was a time when Ishopanishad, the book had come out. And before that, all the devotees were taking books and going out, taking books and going out, taking books and going out. All the devotees used to do that. So this I heard from Atma Tattva Prabhu. So there was a big complaint that Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he locked his room and was not coming out, and he was reading book. So many devotees went to Prabhupada and said, every day previously he used to come for book distribution, religiously he used to do book distribution. Nowadays he is not coming. This Atma Tattva Prabhu told. So Prabhupada said, what is he doing? He understood that he was reading Ishopanishad and other books which are coming out. And he said, don't worry, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, you don't worry about him. What is he doing? What is he not doing? Today he is reading, tomorrow he will be leading. So the point is, if we read Srila Prabhupada books, we will become leaders. Why? Because we will get empowered. Why? Because we will get the mercy. Why? Because the acharyas are pleased. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, to continue with this point, I can just mention a few examples. Just see, yesterday, no, day before yesterday, Gauranga Prabhu gave a very beautiful class. I have always appreciated Gauranga Prabhu because he dedicates a lot of his time for studying. I've studied in Radha Gopinath Temple a number of times, and I realized how much time he invests in reading. And we can see how much he is becoming more and more empowered. Yesterday, Bhakti Damodara Maharaj gave a class. Here's another example. From his brahmachari days, from his bhakta days, he took Srila Prabhupada's books very seriously. A day never passed without him reading. And so he became so empowered. My own spiritual master, Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he told me that he used to spend 4 hours reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Every day he would never fail. 4 hours. He never failed. And because of that, he became so empowered to do what he did. So these books are not ordinary books. They may be printed on paper with ordinary ink, printed by ordinary machines, but they are transcendental books. Actually, Srila Prabhupada says that these books are non different from kirtan. So they're non different from kirtan. They are written kirtan. Just by reading them is like performing kirtan. So any devotee who wants to be empowered, male or female, boy or girl, young or old, any devotee who wants to be empowered, just spend some time reading Srila Prabhupada's books on regular basis. And you will see, you become very enlivened. You become very knowledgeable. You become very relevant. When you speak to devotees, they will see that you have a message for them. And so if all of us decide to read Srila Prabhupada's books on regular basis, we shall all become very empowered. And we shall do very amazing things. Guaranteed. Therefore, I recommend you to read my books more and more and try to understand the subject matter from different angles of vision and be always discussing it with your God brothers and God sisters. And when you are working and you cannot read, then listen to the tapes of my lectures and hear in that way. This is to Bhargava, June 13, 1972. So he says we should read the books more and more and more and try to understand them from various angles of vision. And not only that, we should also discuss with our colleagues, God brothers, God sisters, teens, and whatsoever. And in this way, we can actually understand the subject. In fact, it is said that when you discuss a subject, it enhances your understanding. The more you discuss it, the more you understand it. I remember back in college, one professor told me that if you want to master a subject, try to teach your fellow students. And I tried it, it worked marvelously. The more you explain to others to understand, the more you understand yourself also. So reading these books and explaining to others, it enhances your own understanding. It deepens your own understanding. So therefore, when we read, we should read meaningfully. There are several ways to read. Some people just scan over a book without taking note of the details of the subject matter. Other people read in a very digestive manner, taking note of everything. We will go through some of those things in the course of the seminar. But it is important to read a subject matter again and again and try to analyze it from various angles. And then also share that information with others. And this way, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper into this spiritual subject matter. So there are three types of study or reading. We have personal study, we have group study, and we have what is called systematic group study. That is like an institution. You go to a college, you go to an institute, Mayapur Institute, Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, Bhaktivedanta Academy for Culture and Education. There are so many institutes in ISKCON that are teaching Srila Prabhupada's books. But it begins with personal study. Maybe you want to talk.
So the personal study is like our sadhana, swadhyay, that we have to do it religiously. we'll get the mercy. Then, as Prabhuji explained, when we do it in the group, it is like we are eating, now it's digesting, and when we systematically read, it will be more of nourishment and it will stay with us. So, yeah. So, personal reading, like oblique individual reading, one should study Vedic literature according to his individual ability and share with others. Specifically, one should study those books in order to increase one's desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, one intention is very much highlighted by Srila Prabhupada. So, Keshava Bharati Goswami vows to read 41 pages daily. Very interesting. His past year, inspired by my dear friend and God brother, by Sesika Prabhu, I made a vow to read out loud 41 pages of your Srimad Bhagavatam every day, remembering how you stressed the reading of your books as an essential part of our sadhana. For your pleasure, I started from the preface on 6th September 2014, and today, 14th April 2015, I reached the 20th chapter of Canto 9. Indeed, one who reads 41 pages every day will finish entire Bhagavatam just in 1 year. Srila Prabhupada ki, reading books ki. So, before reading, like before chanting, before doing DT worship, books are also like DT. There should be some preparation, warming up. So, powerful reading, good prayer, good for personal, prayerful reading, good for personal study. Prayerful reading is more of an attempt to allow Shastra to affect us. Gain association, carefully listen to Krishna's message, let potent transcendental words sink deeply into core of our consciousness. This is how we should read Prabhupada books. When Krishna finished his pastimes, Arjuna again was in Shoka. He again went into Moha and he was feeling kind of depressed. So Krishna, who spoke Bhagavad Gita and inspired Arjuna, again from the sky, Krishna, the voice came, Akashvani, voice from the sky, said that Arjuna, you are again going into illusion, getting depressed because of the separation. My advice to you is that don't worry. You just remember the words I spoke to you in Kurukshetra, the Bhagavad Gita. If you do that, you will immediately feel my presence and again you will come back in form. And Arjuna, after this Akashvani, the sound from the sky, he started contemplating the messages of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and he was doing so. He could feel Krishna speaking to him, Krishna near him, and he was again back to form. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada is in his books. When we read in a prayerful mood, we'll see Prabhupada and we'll get inspired. Today morning, one devotee was asking, "I'm how to be enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness. Many things are happening, which is bringing me down. This happens." So he said, what to do? So one of the secret is Read Srila Prabhupada books prayerly, prayer in a prayerful mood, and we will find wonders will be happening.
Yeah, I want to touch on the previous verse, the previous slide. Actually, this I think it should be this past year. This past year, inspired by my dear friend and god brother Srila Prabhu, I made a vow to read out loud 41 pages of your Srimad Bhagavatam every day, remembering how you stress the reading of your books as an essential part of a sadhana for your pleasure. I started from the preface on 6th September 2014, and today, 14th April 2015, I reached the 20th chapter of Canto 9. Indeed, one who reads 41 pages every day will finish the entire Srimad Bhagavatam in just 1 year. So Keshava Bharati Goswami is an amazing devotee. Since 2014 till date, no single day passes without Maharaj reading 41 pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, he has finished reading Srimad Bhagavatam and now he's reading Chaitanya Charitamrita in the same manner. And actually, he has a number of programs on YouTube. If you just Google on YouTube, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, his programs will come up. And you can listen to Maharaj reading very loudly and clearly. Sometimes people join him in reading, and sometimes he alone does it. He says whether people are there with him or not, he reads aloud. And by reading aloud, it captures the mind. There are two ways of reading. You can read very quietly and take notes, and you can also read loudly to your own hearing. So Maharaj prefers reading loudly to his own hearing, and in this way, it also helps those devotees who are around him. So he took a vow. What I want to highlight here is the vow to read. He took a vow. I made a vow to read out loud 41 pages of your Srimad Bhagavatam. He took a vow. Just as Prabhu mentioned, at the time of initiation, we all take vows before the spiritual master, before the deities, and before the Vaishnavas, that we're going to chant 16 rounds and we're going to follow the 4 regulatory principles. I think we are recommending this project, the team for this project, we are recommending to the Guru Services Commission to add reading Srila Prabhupada's books as one of the vows. Say? Wonderful. In fact, some spiritual masters are already instructing their disciples to read. Yeah, 1 hour a day minimum. So, but those that are not doing that, we will request them to do that also. Because it's important. We should make it a vow. Just as we eat to sustain this body, we need to read to sustain our mind and intelligence. If you want to have a strong mind, strong intelligence, strong reasoning, then you have to read regularly. It helps in so many ways. So let us take a vow. How many pages we can read? Maharaj is reading 41 pages a day, and in 1 year he finishes the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. We may not be able to read the 41 pages a day, but at least read something. 1 page, 4 pages, 10 pages, whatever. But take a vow to read something every blessed day. It nourishes your mind, it nourishes your soul, it nourishes your spiritual life. And of course, this one, prayerful reading, good for personal study. If we study in a group, then we just read for everybody to hear, and that sound vibration is purifying. But if we want to do individual reading, personal study, then it has to be prayerful reading. So in most cases, we might opt for this, in most cases. But if you can create a group and read 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, whatever, and just read aloud and discuss whatever you've read, you will see the effect. The effect is very powerful. So prayerful reading is more of an attempt to allow Shastra to affect our lives. It's an opportunity to gain association of the author of the book, of the knowledge in the book. It is an opportunity to carefully listen to Krishna's message. When we read Bhagavad Gita, actually Srila Prabhupada said that reading Bhagavad Gita is as good as associating with Krishna. Because Krishna and his words, there is no difference. It is said that the mercy of God manifests in 3 ways. We have Vachika Kripa. Vachika means the words. And we have Aloka Dana Kripa. Aloka Dana Kripa means Krishna manifesting himself before the devotee, his form before the devotee. And then we have Harda Kripa. Harda Kripa means Krishna entering the heart of the devotee and empowering the devotee. So in 3 ways, Krishna manifests his mercy. And one of the ways is his words. So the more we read and imbibe this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the more that mercy of Krishna becomes manifest within the core of our hearts. So we should read prayerfully. So there are suggested steps for this prayerful reading. First of all, decide on what you will read. That means you choose what you want to read. You can just take any of the small books, maybe Coming Back, Beyond Birth and Death, On the Way to Krishna, Krishna book, Bhagavad Gita, any book. Decide what you want to read. You have to decide. 2, decide how long you would like to read. Maybe 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes every day, 20 minutes every day, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. You have to decide based on the availability of time. Because of our service schedules, we have to find time. If I was reading one pastime of Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj, and they were giving an example of a devotee who always looked for an opportunity to read. It says Hridayananda Goswami, when he became a devotee in the temple, he never wasted any time. That when they go to Prasharam Hall, he doesn't waste time in Prasharam Hall. He would eat very quickly, and he would dash out and take a book and read. While the others are still in the Prasharam Hall, he is reading. And then he was a Sankirtan leader. When they jump into the bus or the van to go and preach, while the other devotees are busy discussing, Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj is reading his book. And the same way, when they are coming back, he will never say anything. He's always reading. And Prabhupada took note of that. And then he became empowered. He was the first devotee who became a Sanskrit scholar. He was the first devotee who became a Sanskrit scholar. And Prabhupada trained him that way. He was empowered. So we should look for the opportunity to read. Decide on a suitable place to read, a place free from distractions. So we have to find a suitable place where there is no disturbances, where there are no interruptions, where there are no distractions. And then we can read quietly. 4, make yourself comfortable, but not so comfortable that you may easily fall asleep. 5, cultivate an appropriate attitude, an attitude of reading to please Sri Guru and Srila Prabhupada. Actually, we might just think that we are reading for ourselves, but when we read the scriptures, we are actually pleasing the spiritual master and we are pleasing Srila Prabhupada. In several places, Srila Prabhupada says, I'm very glad, I'm very pleased to hear that you are constantly reading my books. So when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, our Guru Maharaj is happy and Srila Prabhupada is happy. So we should read in that mood. Before starting your reading, you may offer some prayers. Actually, the books are deities. The books are non-different from Krishna. The Bhagavatam tells us how when Krishna left the planet, immediately Srimad Bhagavatam manifested. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And Bhagavad Gita is not different from Krishna. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is not different from Krishna. So before we start reading, we should offer some prayers. And when you are ready, begin reading loudly or silently, depending on your choice. As we see in the case of Keshava Bharati Maharaj, he reads aloud. He says a vibration of the books flowing constantly. So one can choose that path, and one can also read silently. Read until a word or a phrase or an idea catches your attention. You stop there and try to understand it deeply. When your time is up, offer obeisances and be grateful for any realizations that you have been offered. We must also understand when we read these books, we are attracting saintly souls to us. Narada Muni is always traveling all over the whole universe. And when he sees somebody intensely absorbed in reading Krishna Katha, Narada is attracted. Lord Shiva is a Param Vaishnav. He is also attracted to places where Krishna is being glorified. And many other souls, empowered souls, exalted souls, they travel throughout the whole universe. And when they see that somebody is so absorbed in Krishna consciousness, they offer the association. And they help us to go deeper into our realizations, into our understanding. So when we finish our reading, we should show some gratitude for those realizations by offering obeisances. 10. Assimilate what you have read. Meditate on the material read and apply it in your life and share with others. Whatever you read, whatever important points you have gathered, assimilate it, apply it, think over them again and again and again, and let it sink deep into your being. And then you share with others. And don't forget, the more you share, the more it becomes much more blissful. That is the nature of Krishna consciousness. The more you share, the more it becomes blissful. Why do preachers take joy in preaching? Because the more they share, the more it is blissful, the more it becomes tastier. The more you give, the more you get. That is the nature of Krishna consciousness. So whatever you have read, whatever you've assimilated, share with others. And the more you share, the more you have more realizations, and the more you feel more blissful. And then number 11, you repeat this process on daily basis, regularly. Just as we do our japa every day without fail, we should also read without fail. So these are some prayers. Some of you might have known these prayers already. Approach the Shastra with respect and reverence. Prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam by Sanatana Goswami from Sri Krishna Lila's Tower. Sarva Shastradi Priyasu, Sarva Videka Satfalaha, Sarva Siddhanta Radnadya, Sarva Lokaika Drik Pradaha, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvanto Ditaditya, Sri Krishna Parivartitaha. And the translation is here. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual wisdom to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned amongst us. That is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you have no prayer to say, you can repeat some of these prayers by Sanatana Goswami. I think there is more of it. Paramanda Pataya Prema Varsi Akshaksharyate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everybody, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Marika Bando Matsangim, Mad Guru, Mad Mahadana, Mad Nishtaraka, Mad Bhagya, Mad Ananda Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So these are some prayers one can offer to Srimad Bhagavatam. I think this is the last one. Asadu sadhu tadayim ati no chocha taraka hanamuchan kadachimam premna hirit katayot spruha. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O lifter of the very fallen, please don't ever leave me. Please become manifest in my heart and my throat, accompanied by, what happened? I think by Lord Krishna, something. I don't know what has disappeared from here. Okay, so that is with individual study. Now, group study. You want to say something about group study? Okay. Reading every day with one or two friends or between husband and wife is necessary. It is a nectarian activity which draws us away from pressing matters into transcendence. It strengthens relationships among devotees. We can also practice prayerful reading, praying and meditating on a small amount of material, thinking about how Krishna is speaking directly to us, and praying that he will please reveal the meaning of the passage. Prabhupada encouraged variety. If anything that results in rapt attention is considered good. In other words, we can have little groups. Husband and wife can read together. Husband, wife, and children can read together. Friends can read together. People who serve together in a particular department can read together. We can form all kinds of clubs. We can read together in our community. We can form reading clubs, WhatsApp clubs, Skype clubs, online clubs. All kinds of clubs are being formed around the world. So why don't we form clubs that can facilitate our discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, our discussing Bhagavad Gita, our discussing Chaitanya Charitamrita? People are having so many groups and they just post all kinds of rubbish things. If we can share Krishna consciousness, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness on these platforms, how enlivening that will be. So we urge all of you to create reading groups and inspire others to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10:9, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Lord Krishna is saying this. It's giving us a clue. If you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied, then you should study the scriptures and discuss it amongst yourselves. And in this way, you'll be satisfied and you'll be enlivened and you'll be blissful. Getting the most out of what you read and share your experience. This is like a group work. First read or hear. This for the group reading. Then repeat and explain among others. Ask relevant questions. Discuss from all angles. Apply what you learn in your life and share your experience. So this is for those who want to do the group reading. First read and hear. Read or hear. Then repeat and explain among others. Ask relevant questions. Discuss from all angles and visions. Apply whatever you learned in your life. And then you share with others. When you read, what do you look for? When you read, you ask yourself some questions. What information have I learned? What does this have to do with me? Can I share this with others or impact their spiritual life in some way? How does this affect my own faith and spiritual growth? How does this bring me closer to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna? So these are very relevant questions when we read. What am I looking for? What has it got to do with me? Can this impact on my life and others? How does it increase my faith? How does it affect my growth spiritually? And does it bring me closer to Srila Prabhupada? When we read, we should think about these points. Then we can get the best out of our reading. Deepening your understanding of Krishna conscious theology, particularly through studying it from a wide range of perspectives and through developing thoughtfulness and introspection. We can increase our understanding by deepening our knowledge in theology, Krishna conscious theology, through regular study from a wide range of perspectives and through developing thoughtfulness and introspection. Whatever we read, we should not just let it go. We should think about it. Think about it. What does it really mean? How does it really affect me? How does it improve my life? How does it improve my faith? How does it affect my spiritual life? We should meditate. We should think about it seriously and let the message sink deep into our hearts. On the stage of Vigyan, one experiences the personality of Godhead not merely as the creator of the material world, but as the supreme living entity existing blissfully in his own eternal context. As one progresses in one's realization of the Supreme Lord in his own abode in the spiritual sky, one gradually becomes disinterested in the material universe and its enormous paraphernalia for sense gratification. The conditioned soul is captivated by the display of material sense gratification. All the material objects are enticing us, and we get so absorbed in that we forget our identity. So as we become more and more aware of Krishna, more aware of our spiritual nature and our connection, then our absorption goes to Krishna, is no more to the external world. And that means we are gaining realization. There is theoretical knowledge and there is realized knowledge. So as we grow in our spiritual life, we would become more and more realized. We will feel Krishna on every page of the scripture. We will see Krishna in every direction. We see Krishna in devotees. Actually, Krishna is already there. Krishna is a super soul sitting in the heart of every living entity. Sarvasya chaham hriday sanivisto matas smriti gyanam apohanam cha. Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Krishna is there. But because of our external absorption, we don't realize that Krishna is sitting in our hearts, and he is also sitting in the hearts of others. But as we go deeper and deeper in our study, Krishna becomes more and more manifest within us, and we can also perceive him in others. The process is that you should memorize the purport of my books and then speak them in your own words. Do not adulterate or change anything. Then you will be the perfect preacher. To hear and explain the books is more important than reading them. One can assimilate the knowledge of the revealed scriptures only by hearing and explaining. Hearing is called Shravana, and explaining is called Kirtan. The two processes of Shravana and Kirtan are of primary importance to progressive spiritual life. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, verse 6, purport. Shravanam and Kirtanam, they go together. When we hear, that is Shravanam, and when we speak, that is Kirtan. So both must be there. Reading and explaining. So we have a small exercise for everyone. I don't know if we have enough light to read, but we have some exercise here. That before we round up, we'd like to. Yeah, this we have to distribute.
I will distribute.
So we just want to do a little exercise. We only have 50 copies. We can share with friends so that everybody can read.
Not enough, so they can share also.
Yeah, that's what I said. Please share with somebody, or if you have your database on your phone, you can go to chapter 9, Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, verse 34. If you have your laptop or you can find it. So we want to give some 5 minutes reading. Read the purport in a scrutinizing manner. Write down points for personal application. Write down points for preaching application. Write down the essence of this verse. Share your points with a partner if you wish, and share with the whole class if you wish. So we have 5 minutes. Read through it and pick 1 point for a personal application and 1 point for preaching application. And then you can also pick 1 point as the essence of the whole purport. And you can share with the next person. Yes, Prabhu. This is Veda-based Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 34. Veda-based Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 34. I'm sure many more people might have finished by now. If you have finished, find a partner and discuss what you have identified as a personal application and preaching application and the essence of the verse or the purport. Share with the person. He will also share with you what he has got, and you see whether it's a similar thing or different. Then whoever wants to share with us, we will ask a few people to share with the whole class, if possible. In fact, we'll just say wherever you have reached, you can just stop there. You can continue later and finish up, but wherever you reach, you have picked some points. 1 point personal application, 1 point preaching application, and the essence of the verse or the purport. Share with somebody next to you. Share what you have got from the purport. Share. You tell him what you got, and he tells you what you got. And if anybody wants to volunteer to share whatever he has got with the whole class, you take the microphone. This one goes to those who want to share. No, there's another one there. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So please share in a few minutes, 2 minutes, share. Okay. Yes, who wants to share what they have got, Prabhu? Okay, please. Share what you have got.
Uh,
So please listen carefully.
that the function of the mind is it always has to think about something, and so it is best to think about someone or something by which it can give maximum benefit, that is Krishna.
Wow.
But there are so many uh, false cheating commentators who tell that don't focus on Krishna, focus on something within Krishna. No, but Krishna is absolute, so there is no difference. So beginning with always thinking of Krishna, and then after mind comes speech and action. So by thinking of Krishna, then naturally there will be a desire to do something for Krishna, that is to become his devotee and to offer my obeisances unto his beautiful deity form, and and when I see his form, I will bow down before him, and then I will worship him. This is my personal application, that my mind has to go somewhere, then let it be in the lotus feet of Krishna with my mind, speech, and actions. And preaching is that mind, speech, and action has to be somewhere. Let it be for your ultimate success of life. That is pure devotional service. Then you will be happy in this life and the next.
Wonderful. Let's give him a hand. So the mind has to be engaged. The mind is compared to a genie. A genie is always busy. But what does it do? Just frivolous activities. So the mind is like that. So therefore, we must engage the mind in doing something very positive. And that positive thing is to think of Krishna. And of course, we have to engage our words in the service of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think that from here we can see that Krishna is very greedy. I want you for me. I want all your attention. I want all your dedication. I want you to think about me, just about me, always about me. So he's very greedy about us, about our son, about his sons, because he wants to give the maximum. He wants to give himself. And being Krishna, the topmost of everything, to get him, we need to give everything from us, our mind, our speech, our body, everything. So I think Krishna is very smart, he's very intelligent, and he says, give me everything you have, and I will give you myself.
Yeah, it's interesting. Listen to one lecture where Srila Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is perfect. He's complete and perfect. And therefore, he wants complete surrender. Sarva dharma parityajya. He says, surrender everything to me. So this mantra, this slok, 934, Krishna is highlighting that. Now, if we want to get him, then we must give everything to him. We must think of him. We must worship him. We must pay obeisances to him. We must become his devotee. We must be absorbed in him completely. Then only Krishna will respond. So he is complete and perfect, and therefore he wants complete and perfect surrender from his devotees. That is very serious. But that is what we have to do to please Krishna. Any other contributions? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The first word is engage. So this caught my attention. Engage, and when I read the purport, it was engage how to engage. And a very nice example was given of King Kamsa. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada clearly mentions how to actually engage our mind, and that is it should be favorably engaged. So that's one point for my understanding. Then in the preaching application, I actually, when I read throughout, I could see that Srila Prabhupada is again and again emphasizing on how Bhagavad Gita as it is authentic, and how the unscrupulous commentators may distort the meaning of many verses and translations. So this actually tells us, especially preaching in different countries, that we have varieties of Bhagavad Gita versions, and not everyone may have Bhagavad Gita as it is. So it's a good opportunity for book distribution. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. Let's give a hand. Nadia Bihari Prabhu is one of our team members. Please, why don't you be in front so the devotees can see you? So I think time is not in our favor. So we'll try to wrap up. But we encourage all of you to do this exercise regularly. Take a verse, a purport, find some friends, read it, extract some points, discuss, and it will help you to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Just see, if we allow everybody to say something, you will see that everybody got some understanding from some angle, because the subject is so deep. So reading in a group is very useful, and that is why all of us should form reading groups. Benefits of reading Srila Prabhupada's books. When you read Srila Prabhupada's books, we associate with Srila Prabhupada. True or false? When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we are actually associating with Srila Prabhupada. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, it increases our faith in the process of bhakti. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, it nourishes our taste in Krishna consciousness. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, it makes us steady in Krishna consciousness. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, it increases our appreciation for Krishna. And obviously, when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we shall develop love for Krishna. And finally, it will facilitate our return to the spiritual world. So anyone who is reading Srila Prabhupada's books on a regular basis, this is the end result. Back home, back to Godhead. So we encourage everybody to read on a regular basis. And not only that, we should also inspire others. We should inspire others. How to do that? Read Srila Prabhupada's books daily. Just by reading daily, others get inspired. When others see you reading all the time, they become inspired. So do that on a daily basis. 2, form a reading group in your community. Form a reading group in your community. Find 1 person, 2 persons, 3 persons, read together on a daily basis. 3, form online WhatsApp, Skype reading groups and invite others to join. 4, become a representative of this project. So we have some forms here, not forms per se. It's, they can write their names, their contacts. This is the Google Drive is here. Yeah, you can write your name, your contact. If you want us to be in touch with you, to encourage you, you want to form a group, you can inform us, whatever you want to do. And, as regards this project, give us your contact, give us your email, we'll be in touch with you. Of course, the other information is right here. You can also go online and fill a Google Drive form. This is the site. You can go on site and fill this. And you can also write to us. Reading Srila Prabhupada's books at gmail.com. You can also write to us. We will respond. If you want to form a group, you want to represent the project, anything you require from this project, any help you require from this project, write us. We shall respond. But it's just a new project and we need as many devotees as possible around the world to facilitate this project. So we'll be so glad, so happy if you step forward to assist us. At the moment, we are just 6 of us who are trying to get things together, and we need more hands. On that note, we close the curtains. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.